my name is Tina, and today we're going to do the last video in my 5-part series about the trip that my husband and I took to Disney World. We went back in December of 2013, and this is just going to finish up my album. Every video so far has just went over one of our days in the park, so we were there for a 5-day trip, and this is our last day in the park. So to start out, we have my title card here. This is day 6, so day 6 of the trip, but 5 days in the park. It's dated December 5th, 2013. The title card, like all of them, comes from Project Mouse. And then several of the other cards on this page come from Project Mouse as well. This card and this card are Project Mouse. And over here we have the Simple Story Say Cheese line. This is a Project Life card, and I believe that one was, that one's Project Mouse too, I believe, but don't quote me on that one, even though it says quote of the day. Over back on this page here, we have the initial picture that we took, our selfies at the bus stop. We do it every day. And then let me just point out real quick, like I've done in all the videos, my borders for this last day in the park were this tannish color with a white inner border on those. So every day I chose a different border just to separate them in my album. Okay, so moving on. This day we hit all the parks. So we had 4 other days in the park, and we did essentially one day in each park. And on our last day, we decided to do our favorite things at all 4 of the parks. So we started out with a picture from the PhotoPass photographer at Hollywood Studios, first in line at one of the many stations to go in. So I got some pictures of the FastPass Plus. Well, I guess it's not FastPass Plus. It's the Magic Band system to go in where you show your Magic Band. So I got some pictures of that, just a picture of the park before anybody really got in. If we go over to this page, first thing we did is we walked really fast back to Toy Story Midway Mania because the line there gets fast really quick. And as we were going back, I was walking super fast, and I'm looking at my husband because he's like 20 feet behind me, and he's just like, I just can't walk as fast as you can. So I learned I am a faster walker than Scott, apparently. Anyway, he was a great sport about it, as always, but it was pretty funny. So at the top here, we've got our pictures from Toy Story Midway Mania. Then we went over to the Rock and Roller Coaster, and we did Hollywood Tower of Terror, because those were our favorite rides at that park. And after we did those, we essentially left the park to go to Animal Kingdom. But before we left, we got some quick pictures. This cast member, he was awesome. He took our picture here in front of the Tower of Terror, and then I made sure that I got a picture of him as well, and he hammed it up really good. So that was fun. We grabbed something to eat really quick before we left, and I forgot to get a picture of that, and kind of annoyed that I forgot to get a picture, but oh well. After we left there, like I said, we went over to Animal Kingdom. So this is just a picture of the bus stop sign while we were waiting for the bus to come to take us over. Picture from the PhotoPass photographer in front of the Christmas tree at Animal Kingdom. And then once we got there, we did Dinosaur, which was one of my favorite rides, and got some pictures of that. And then we went over to Expedition Everest, and I was getting in line, and Scott came, and some guy had gave him fast passes. So this was, when we went, was in the middle of their transition. We were there while they were testing the Fast Pass Plus, so that's what we used. But they gave us the fast passes for that ride, so it was super nice because we waited about 20 minutes for the bus to get us to Animal Kingdom. So that kind of made up some time for us so that we could kind of do some of the things that we wanted. So here again, just a picture of Expedition Everest and the tree. And then we grabbed something to eat there. We got a jalapeno pretzel and some water. And from there, we went to the Magic Kingdom. Now, the Magic Kingdom is where we chose to get all of our fast passes for the day, because we assumed that we would be spending the most of our day at Magic Kingdom, and that worked out really well for us. So, picture of the sign from Animal Kingdom to take us to the transportation center. Then we hopped on the monorail to get over to the Magic Kingdom. So pictures of the Magic Kingdom. I really love this picture of Space Mountain. I grabbed that from the monorail and I thought it turned out really well. Just kind of a fun thing. Pictures here in front of the Magic Kingdom. Old piece of metal from, that was Making Memories, I believe. And then the standard picture in front of Cinderella's castle. Some punches from that EK Success paper shaper. And then some flair from, I believe that's K & Company. Turning the page, we made our way back through the park, got some pictures, lots of pictures from the PhotoPass photographer. This is the only magic shot we got on the whole trip with me holding Tinkerbell, so I thought that was kind of fun and made a little card for it. And then I really wanted to eat at Be Our Guest, and by the time we made our reservations, we only made our reservations 90 days out. I did not realize that for the Disney World, you really need to get your reservations 180 days out to get some of the hot spots. So when we went, they were doing lunch on a counter service basis at Be Our Guest. So we waited in front of Be Our Guest for an hour, essentially, to get in for lunch because I really wanted to go into Beast Castle. And my husband wasn't sure why we were waiting so long, but he was, like I said, a good sport about it and went in with me. And, well, of course he went in with me. He was hungry and wanted something to eat, but he did wait in line with me while the line slowly moved forward so that we could get in to see the castle. So because it was such a big deal for me, I did quite a few spreads about Be Our Guest. So I started out with just a title about the restaurant there. These are stamps. I think they were dots or close to my heart, I guess is what it became. These were Sizzix dies that I cut out and then just random paper in the background from my stash. Just some pictures of waiting in line, picture of the menu, pictures of things that you could see while you're waiting in line. So you can see Ariel's castle and there's Beast Castle while we're waiting. And then as we got closer, I got a picture of the gargoyle. So these are the light posts as you go in. That's right there. This is this guy here. And then the entrance going in. Okay, so some more about Be Our Guest. This is a Project Mouse card. This is Project Mouse. This is Project Mouse as well. And I believe this was Project Mouse. Pictures of the soda fountains because they were kind of embellished, which I thought was awesome. Lots of pictures of this stuff in, just talking, some journaling, talking about the restaurant. And then over here, pictures of our food. You have to try the gray stuff, of course. So we got a cupcake. My thumbs up for the restaurant. Scott just hanging out as we're waiting for our food to come. And flick the page over. Some more shots of the restaurant. Like I said, I was a bit obsessed, so I had quite a bit there. These two things here are from Project Mouse. Okay, after we got done eating, then we kind of went over and into the rest of the park, did some of my favorite things and Scott's favorite things. So the first thing we did is we went to the Haunted Mansion, so I got a few more pictures there. And then we went over into Adventureland and we got some pirates pictures as we went on that, which I think I said this before in the last one. Pirates at Walt Disney World in the Magic Kingdom is not anywhere as good as it is in Disneyland. However, I still had to go on it again. So there's our pictures of Pirates, and then this is just some stickers. I'm not sure who did those. I think it's Queen and Company, and I just basically took a project life card and just put that in. Just some filler information. This here is a project life card, and then just some flair from my stash. As we go over to this little teeny page here, all the Tangled gets that I was able to see are some restrooms, and then the tower in the background, but I love Tangled, so I had to get a few shots of that. And then we got pictures from the PhotoPass photographer, which I loved, even though my husband didn't smile, but that's normal. After that, we took in another parade with the Celebrate a Dream Come True parade, so I got a few more pictures there. And I didn't put a lot in this part of the album because I did it on the day that I put quite a few in on the day that we first went to the Magic Kingdom, but I did want to show, that we had went and saw it. So in this instance, the princes were all walking because their float must have been down, I'm assuming. So got some pictures there that were a little bit different of Belle and Ariel and Eric, and then Rapunzel there in the background. I'm sorry, that's not Rapunzel, that's Sleeping Beauty. What am I thinking? They're going to take my Disney card away from me. Anyway, here's our Fast Passes that we did for the day. So we did one for Space Mountain, one for Big Thunder Mountain, and one for Splash Mountain. And so pictures of Tomorrowland, our Space Mountain from our Fast Pass. Of course, we had to do Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger spin. This card back here is the Simple Story Say Cheese line, and this here is from Project Mouse. So we turn the page. We're going over to Frontierland, just a singing troupe that was there, and we grabbed a few pictures. Thunder Mountain was the next ride that we went on. Scott loves that ride, of course. He's got the smiley face that he filled out that night when we got back to our hotel room. And then we went over to do Splash Mountain, and it was down. So it was for our Fast Pass, and so we decided, well, we'll take the train ride around. So we did that and got the train ride. My feet, I was so tired at this point. Picture just going around, and by the time we got off the train back in Frontierland, Splash Mountain was up. So I got my card for the day because I love that ride. And the picture of Scott and I in the back there of the boat going down. One of the things I love about the PhotoPass Plus is that you got the ride photos as well. So of course we got that, and then from there we had all our Fast Passes done. So then we walked over to Epcot, and we actually walked. I think that we took the monorail over. Yeah, we did, because it says right there. So it's a good thing I've got journaling, So we took the monorail over to Epcot. So we got our picture going into the park. And on each of the pictures, I don't know if you noticed or not, but each of the pictures that we had from, at least one of the pictures from each of the parks, I had the symbol put on it for this day. So I got that one, and then I've just filled in some stuff here. So this and this are both the Simple Story Say Cheese line. Both of these are Project Mouse. This is the Simple Story Say Cheese line as well, which I've just embellished with some of those Mickey heads that I punched out, and then some punches of circles and scallop circles there at the end. This is my card from the end of the day saying what kind of day it was. We ate. We got something to eat from each of the parks at the end of the day. So at Epcot, we got the Skol bread up here, and then we got I'm gonna just slaughter this name, but the kakigori, Kakigori, It's like a slushie that had sweet and condensed milk on it, and it was so, so good. And I had kept asking my husband as we're in the parks, is there anything you want? Is there anything you want? Is there any place you want to go? And I got no response at all until we were in Epcot going around the world, and he finally said that he really wanted a Mickey bar, which we had seen all day, and he never once said he wanted one until we were going around the world, and I didn't think I was going to find one for him. There were no Mickey bars anywhere in the World Showcase. However, just as we were getting ready to leave the park, they had a kiosk where they were selling Mickey bars. And he didn't share with me at all, but I got pictures of him with the bar before he ate it, taking a bite, the first bite gone, and he loved his Mickey bar. So now we know if we go again, don't look for a Mickey bar in the World Showcase, and I'll ask Scott earlier, do you want a Mickey bar? Because remember what happened last time. I thought it was kind of funny though. These cards here are all from, actually, and this too, these are all Project, not Project Mouse, they are Simple Story Say Cheese Line. And that was the end of our trip. So from here we get to day 7. This is our day that we went home. We had to get up at an absurd amount of time in order to get on the Magic Express. So I got super dark, got pictures just of Coronado Springs there at the bus stop, and got my sad face on. And obviously I got 3 different pictures that are the same ones there. Just with the different exposures here from Rad Lab. Just picture of the plane going home, and I just have to say I am horrible about taking pictures on the way home. I am so excited at the beginning of trips always, and I'm taking pictures of every part of it, and we get on the way to go home and I stop taking pictures, and I think it's just because I don't want it to end. But there you go. So that is the end of the trip. Now I did do some pictures at the back that are, well, and actually, let me just point this out. The end of the trip, I just had a black border around the photos. I did do some pictures at the end of just some of our favorite things. So we'll just go over those real quick. So I've got this card. This was a Project Mouse card, and I took it down with me, and I really like this card. So while we were down there, we were checking out prices of what everything was. And if we go down again, I plan on doing this again, and then just see how much things change from trip to trip. So park tickets cost this much, a hamburger costs this much, ear hats cost this much, and a bottle of water. And just some simple stuff that, you can easily find out, and was kind of fun just to document. So that's that, just to finish it up. And then before we started our last day, the night before, my husband and I both wrote a ride checklist of what we wanted to do at our last day. So we did everything on my husband's list except for soaring, and we did everything on my list except for Test Track. Funny, because both of those are in Epcot, but by the time we got through the World Showcase and stuff, we were just tired. And I didn't want to leave the park, but I knew that our flight was leaving so early. Well, the flight wasn't leaving early, but I knew that our bus stop, our ticket on the Magic Express was super early. So we knew we had to get back to the hotel and get to bed. So anyway, so we didn't get those things done. But we did pretty good on everything else and got, the stuff that we wanted to do done. So now remember I talked about, I got pictures at each of the parks with the, and I put the PhotoPass symbol for the park on it. So these are each of the pictures that I chose to do that. And in this section, I did black and white photos on all of it. And then I just, to make it stand out a little bit more, I did a red border with the black inner border. So just a picture from each of the parks with the ride checklist for that page. And then as we turn this page, we had filled out that night before we went to bed, we filled out each of these cards about what our favorite things to do were. So these are Project Mouse cards that I had printed and took down with me. And this one is the Top Picks Ride Edition, and it has our Best Dark Ride, Best Thrill Ride, Best Tame Ride, and Best Show or Attraction. So what I did is I went in and got pictures for each of the things on our top list. Now there are a couple of them that I did not have good pictures of. So I went on to Flickr and looked at the copyright information on some pictures, and I grabbed a few for personal use here in my album for use here, and I'll put a link to where those pictures can be found on the video. Not a link. I'll put the information about who took them on the video for the ones that I didn't take. So anyway, so I just got the ones that I thought might be kind of hard to tell. I just wrote on them in Photoshop what they were. So Fantasmic, the Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular, Expedition Everest, and Tower of Terror. I figured Mission Space and Dinosaur were pretty explanatory since it says it right on the thing, and Toy Story Midway Mania, obviously. Over here we just have our favorite attraction, so Scott's favorite and my favorite, and then pictures of both, and then our favorite nighttime attractions, mine and Scott's, and then pictures of both of them. These pages, so those pages were rides and events. These pages are all dealing with food. So our favorite snacks and our favorite food, and then a few of our favorite eats. And on this page, we've got our top picks food edition and then our snack favorites. Now, what I did here is both this favorite eats and the snack favorites have numbers on them. So I took, and I numbered each of the pictures. So for instance, this is our favorite eats were pork nachos at Captain Cook's. So it has a black one on it. So if you look over here, this one has a black one, and that's a picture of the pork nachos at Captain Cook's. And if you go to the snack favorites, our favorite snack was the jalapeno pretzel. And so that has the tannish colored one on it, and there's the tannish color one too. I figured that way I could put the pictures in whatever order they fit best, but I could still tie it back to the list that we had made. And then finally, this page was about our favorite characters. And let's move this over just a little bit. So we got Scott's top 5 characters and my top 5 characters. The characters that we wanted to meet and whether we met them or not, and whether we had photos of them if we met them, and whether we got their autograph. And then favorite characters on both of them, and then pictures. So Scott's favorite was Mickey Mouse, and that was just a throwaway answer for him because he didn't know what to put. But my favorite character that we met was Gaston. He was so funny, so full of himself. Anyway, that's the last of my albums. I hope you enjoyed it. As I said, there's 4 other albums where I go over each of the pages, or 4 other videos, I guess, where I go over each of the pages. And then there's one video that's going to be at the end that is just the pages, and I haven't talked at all, but it just flips through all of the pages, because I realize that in this format, it's kind of hard to see the detail on some of them, so I just put that up so that if you're so inclined, you could watch that and you could see more of the detail on what I did. I hope you've enjoyed sharing my albums with me. I had so much fun making the albums. It was like reliving my trip all over again, and I was a little bit sad when I was done. But luckily, I've got some Disneyland pictures now that I can work on, so I better get started on that. Have a great day.